For 3 nights straight, her 130-pound Cane Corso refused to leave the front door, refused to eat, refused to sleep. She told him he was being dramatic. On the 4th night at 3:17 a.m., someone tried to get in, and Dante made sure they never got the chance. Mia Romano was not the kind of woman who scared easily. She had lived alone for 4 years in an apartment on the kind of street where the neighbors kept to themselves and the streetlights sometimes worked. She had a deadbolt, a chain lock, and a ground floor window she never opened after dark. She didn't need saving. She had a system. What she didn't have until 8 months ago was Dante, a 130-pound Cane Corso with a jet black coat, a head the size of a small television, and a stare that made postal workers reconsider their career choices. She had adopted him for security. What she got was something that made her question everything she thought she understood about instinct, about fear, and about what it means when a dog tries to tell you something and you don't listen. For the first 7 months, Dante was exactly what she expected. Enormous, devoted, mildly convinced that he owned the couch. He followed her from room to room like a shadow that breathed heavily and occasionally drooled on her laptop. He had routines, predictable, comfortable routines. Every morning at 6:20, he sneezed once, loudly, dramatically, his entire body shuddering, and considered that sufficient notice that breakfast was overdue. Every evening, he positioned himself at the corner of the kitchen table and monitored her dinner with the focused patience of someone who had decided that sharing was simply the correct thing to do. He was her company, her warmth, her 130-pound reason to come home. Mia knew his sounds, his rhythms, the difference between his bored bark and his alert bark, the way he breathed when he was fully relaxed versus the way he breathed when something outside had caught his attention. 7 months of living with a dog teaches you a language you didn't know you were learning. Which is why Thursday felt wrong immediately. On a Thursday evening in February, something shifted. Mia noticed it first at dinner. Dante didn't eat. He stood at his bowl, looked at it, and then walked to the front door and sat down facing it. He didn't bark, he didn't growl, he just sat there, still as a statue, ears slightly forward, watching the door the way you watch something you already know is coming. She checked the door, deadbolt locked, chain on, nothing outside. "You're being dramatic," she told him. Dante looked at her, then turned back to the door. That night, he didn't sleep on the bed. He lay in the hallway directly in front of the entrance, chin on the floor, eyes open. Mia woke at 2 a.m. and found him exactly there, not asleep, watching. She told herself it was nothing. Dogs do strange things. She went back to bed. Friday was the same. Dante ate half his food, spent most of the evening near the front door, and refused to settle. Saturday, he started doing something new, a slow circuit of the apartment every hour. Living room, kitchen, bedroom, front door. Back to the start. Like a security guard doing rounds, except he weighed 130 pounds and took the job considerably more seriously than any security guard she had ever met. "He's just being weird," she told her friend on the phone. "He does this sometimes." She had never seen him do this before in 7 months. "I see you're still here but haven't subscribed yet. Honestly, that stings a little. Hit subscribe. You'll want to see how this ends." Sunday night, Mia went to bed at 11. Dante did his circuit twice, then positioned himself at the front door and lay down. She left him there. She was tired of trying to move him. At 3:17 a.m., he barked. Not his regular bark, not the lazy, deep sound he made at pigeons or at the neighbor's cat. This was sharp, urgent, a sound she had never heard come out of him before, something that cut through sleep immediately and completely, the way only certain sounds can. She was on her feet before she understood why. She came down the hallway and found Dante standing in front of the door, body rigid, every muscle locked, a low, continuous rumble moving through his chest like an engine idling. His eyes were fixed on the door handle. The door handle was moving, slowly, carefully, the way someone moves when they're trying very hard not to make noise. Mia stood completely still. Her phone was in her hand. She didn't remember picking it up. Dante didn't lunge, didn't throw himself at the door. He simply stood there, 130 pounds of absolute certainty, and let out a single sound. Deep, deliberate, something that passed through the door and the wall and the dark outside, and said without any ambiguity at all, "I am here. I know you are there. This is your only warning." 3 seconds of silence. Then footsteps, moving away, fast. The police came 20 minutes later. They found marks on the doorframe, fresh marks consistent with someone testing the lock. They found the same marks on 3 other doors in the building. 2 of those apartments had been entered, items taken, windows left open. Mia's door was the only one untouched. The officer asked if she had heard anything unusual in the days before. She thought about Thursday dinner, Friday night in the hallway, the circuits, 3 nights of a dog trying, in the only language available to him, to tell her something was wrong. She had told him he was being dramatic. He had kept watch anyway. She stood in her hallway after the officers left and looked at Dante for a long moment. He had returned to his spot by the door, same position, chin on the floor, eyes forward, that low, steady focus that she now understood was not anxiety or strangeness, or a dog being difficult. It was a dog doing exactly what he was built to do, with or without her understanding, with or without her cooperation. He hadn't needed her to believe him. He had simply continued. Every circuit, every night, every hour of watching a door she had decided was fine. She sat down on the floor next to him. He shifted slightly and pressed his weight against her side. They stayed like that for a while. No words, no explanation needed. Mia locks her door the same way she always has. Deadbolt, chain, ground floor window closed after dark. But she doesn't rely on the system anymore. She relies on the 130 pounds lying in the hallway, chin on the floor, watching the door with the quiet focus of something ancient and loyal and completely sure of its purpose. She sleeps differently now, deeper, like something has been handled, because it has. Don't dismiss a dog that's trying to tell you something. They carry senses we lost long ago. Their world is wider than ours, and sometimes, if we're paying attention, they pull us into it just in time. Would you have listened to him sooner? Or would you have told him he was being dramatic too? Tell me in the comments.